I've had a wonderful career as a dance educator, and still, there are three things I wish someone would have told me before I stepped foot into a classroom. If this is your first time meeting me, my name is Maya D. I'm a dancer, an educator, and a curriculum writer with several decades of experience in the K through 12 setting, the higher education setting, and in special education. I've also taught in public schools, private schools, and the independent sector. Um, and I guess I just like making these videos because I'm a true believer in sharing is caring. So this is my attempt to share my knowledge with current dance educators and people that are interested in going into dance education so that we are giving our students the best experience possible. So let's get into this. I really wish someone would have told me that I was going to be alone. So unlike some of the other topics that are taught in the school system, okay, let me give you an example. If you are a math teacher, there might be three other math teachers in the building. If you're an English teacher, there might be three other English teachers in the building. But in my experience, there's usually not more than two dance teachers in the building, and quite often I was the only person that was a dance teacher in the building. And this meant that I didn't have someone to have regular team meetings with, someone to bounce ideas off of, to get that feedback. This meant that I didn't have a team. I didn't have a team that was in the building with me. Now, don't get me wrong. It's possible to build a team. It's possible to find a team. But what that's going to take is, it's going to actually take some additional, it's going to take some additional initiative and advocacy to find that team. So being alone or being one of few inside the school system, inside of that school that you're in, was something that I wish someone would have told me before my first day in the school. Another thing is that not going to be understood. People are not going to know what I'm talking about. Now, that can seem like a very dramatic way of saying it. And what I really mean is that because you're possibly one of two or one of one, there's not another person in the building that understands your content area. And with them not understanding your content area and your craft, they might have some unrealistic ideas about what is needed for you to have a successful class. So there's going to be some assumptions. Okay, easy example that I definitely have experienced. The assumption that I can take on a very large class of 30 or 40 people and put on a spectacular show with a spectacular show in 2 weeks. If we understand our craft, we know that that's not realistic, right? Because of so many things and so many nuances. There might be this unrealistic assumption that I'm just teaching dance, so that we don't need planning time. And what that translates to is being asked to cover classes for people that are out, and then you not having your actual planning time because you're just teaching dance. Is it malicious? I wouldn't say that. I think that is just based on people not understanding the craft, which kind of takes me into the next thing. You will not be able to improvise your way through the academic year, the academic term, and the day. Now, let me be clear. I know that we're dancers, so we have experience with improvisation, right? You might have experienced it in your training. You might have experienced it in your actual day-to-day life. You know, you're at a party and the circle comes and people are dancing and you get in and you do your little thing, right? You improvise there. You might have experienced it in a show. Something's gone wrong. Someone misses their cue. A shoe comes untied. A thing breaks or moves or whatever. And you improvise in order to get across the stage and so that the show can keep going, so that the flow can keep flowing. Yes, we do have improvisation in our tool bag, but, and to be very clear, improvisation should be an emergency tactic or a section of your class that you're teaching, not your day-to-day way of doing things. You have to plan. You have to plan if you're going to be successful throughout the year. So you need to look at the term that you're going to teach. How long are you teaching for? What's your goal for the end of that term, right? And then think, okay, if this is my goal, then what do I need to be doing on a monthly or weekly basis? And what does that mean in actual sessions? Like, what am I trying to get accomplished, so that you know that you are working towards that goal, that you're going to meet those expectations and be able to talk to some of those assumptions that might have been made for you. You have to plan it out. You're not going to improvise it. Now, I think I said a lot. This can be a bit of a challenge, right? But as I said earlier, the reason I make these videos to support you. That's what I said earlier. So I want to give you some things to work towards, right? So what does it look like to have? What do you need in order to have a peaceful, a successful year or term as a dance educator that's working in an academic setting? Well, you're going to need a community and you're going to need planning. I'm gonna say that again. You're going to need a community and you're going to need planning in order to have that peaceful experience during that full time as a dance educator in an academic setting. And that's going to require you to take some initiative to find your community, to find your tribe, to find your vibe. Now, that can be done as simple as going on social media and looking for local dance schools that are in your surrounding areas, or local schools rather, that have dance programs, and connecting with those dance educators there so that you're making a team for yourself. It can also be taking the initiative and advocating for yourself. Well, advocate for yourself to be able to go to conferences, festivals, to become members of organizations like the National Dance Educators Organization, and attending and becoming a member of the International Association for Blacks in Dance, because in these organizations you're going to find like-minded people, and attending their conferences and events will give you that face-to-face time so that you can have time to talk with somebody, to get that feedback, right? We're still human, so we're not always perfect, and sometimes we just need to vent to someone that understands what we're going through. So finding your community and planning, thinking about what you want to do and working backwards. Here's the goal for the end of the year. What does that mean on a regular basis? Breaking it down. You want to plan as much as possible before the start of the day, before you see your students, so that when your students are actually in front of you, you're shifting that plan so that it accommodates, so that it reaches your students. You want to have the plan beforehand and then adjust it and mold it when the students are in front of you, so that you're actually having engagement with your students, right? You don't want to be trying to figure out what to do when they get there. You want to have that already kind of figured out. Now, I said sharing is caring, and the idea is that we are all being the best that we can be for our students. This video is actually number 1 in a 4-part series, and I hope that you take a look at the other videos, and I really, really hope that you drop your thoughts, your ideas in a comment section, because we all want to be better, right? We want to make sure that we're doing our best. And also because it helps me to generate ideas for the next videos. So I'm creating videos that really speak to what we want to know, want to share, and what to talk about. So remember to take a look also in the details, because I include some really great things in the details to help us all move forward. Like and subscribe if you like this video or found it interesting in any other kind of way. Spread a good word, be a good person, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.